Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Ox, here tonight on the show. Is Juicy better than Ox? Yeah. Bridgeman, how we doing? Evening, gents.
Good evening, Ox. Good evening.
Can I say a huge good evening to you guys, and the techie guys as well, Ox, yeah. And of course, Juicy, you got a heavy weight to carry with me, pal, I'll tell you. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, going, boys, we're going. Great result for us last night. Just the result. Well done, Rangers. Everybody, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Caring you. I would have done the 3 regular race with you, but I don't know if I'd have done the wheelbarrow with you, Bridge. You know.
Oh, Juicy's going to carry me, that's for sure.
Right, how are you, Juicy?
Yes, very well, thank you, very well. Enjoyed the game last night. Still got our frailties for sure, guys, but as Fox was alluding to last night, we got the win. Even when we've had much better performing Rangers sides.
Oh, we seem to be losing Juicy. Bridgeman, how are you, mate?
I'm very worried about the pitch, etc.
Juicy, you're coming breaking in and out. How are you, Bridge?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Just recovered a wee bit from last night. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster for a lot of Rangers fans. It was a
strange game, wasn't it? It was a strange game,
very strange.
You know, do you think that surface is good? I think the surface is there's guys don't look comfortable in it, and I'll be honest with you, this is my opinion. I don't think Borna looked comfortable in it. I don't think he ever has. I'm putting the surface, some of the surface down to the performance of Lundstrom and Scotty Arfield, because I know they can both do better. You know, so that's only my opinion, Bridge.
I think that team started so quickly and actually so well on their own pitch, and their players look to be struggling now a bit, just as you said, maybe because of the pitch, but not all because of the pitch. Their heads weren't in it at the time, and there's record of it the whole season, you know. So we've been like that. We've started slowly in most games. Fortunately, we've come through without losing too many goals. But last night, by the way, it was a smashing goal for them. They put all the pressure on, and away they go. And the ball comes over, and we're nowhere. Our left back's nowhere, even our centre half's nowhere, and they're there to. They were fighting each other to get into the ball.
Right. Okay. Right, we didn't start the game. Well, you back with us, Juicy? How's your sound? Keep talking, mate.
Testing. Can you hear me?
That's all right, mate. You were breaking in and out. Okay, we didn't start the game well, and I've got to say, goalkeepers dictate how you line up and where they're going to be and how they come for the ball. And Juicy, I don't know what you think. I didn't think John started the game very well. They'd won it went by the post and then the goal, and both accounts. He was in no man's land, and also the defending was poor. And if you watch back the goal, I don't think you could have put an evening Times underneath all your defenders. Not one of them jumped.
No, and I think the worrying thing, Ox, is that this, aside from the goalkeeper, which we seem to be interchanging at the moment, that's possibly a lot of people's preferred back four, isn't it? That concerns me a little bit. There's a lot we've got to work out. But as I said at the start there, sorry, signal was bad, but I said that better Rangers teams have gone to Kilmarnock and found it difficult. So we have to be positive about the fact that we came away there with a win. Performance-wise was patchy in places and not easy. But I don't think any Rangers side has found that Kilmarnock ground with the plastic pitch an easy one to get the 3 points on. I don't want it to be a smash and grab every week, guys, but we got away with it, Ox.
Yeah. Right, okay. So we didn't start well, Bridge, and the defending wasn't great. Deliberate tactics, getting used to the pitch. I don't know, we're making excuses, or did we not just start well, Bridge?
We didn't start well at all. It took us probably 10 minutes to string a couple of passes together with a bit of confidence. And it took, I must admit, that's probably how long it took John Lundstrom to actually come into the game and actually start doing what he's supposed to do.
I'll be honest with you, Bridge, I don't think he came into the game at all night.
Well,
I thought he was appalling.
yes, I agree with you, but he never actually didn't look as if he touched the ball in the first 10 minutes. The ball seemed to, the play seemed to pass him by. Normally he's in and catching, picking up second ball, or getting a tackle in. I think the pitch does it, plays tricks with the players' heads. And Kilmarnock were right up for it. No, don't take anything away from them. They were right up for it. And they challenged us physically all the way through.
So obviously they got the goal and they threatened a wee bit, but slowly but surely we grew into the game. And I thought at the start of the game, Sakala was causing them problems. Juicy would be the best of our front players at the start of the game. In the midfield, Kamara was doing okay without being spectacular. Tav was driving us forward, and Ryan Kent was busy.
Yeah, Ryan Kent was busy, and I think with regards to Ryan Kent, I think we'd all agree that he's been more involved since the new manager has taken over. His goals and assists have gone up somewhat, which is great to see. It was the goals was pretty much non-existent before he came in, wasn't it? He still.
Oh, we're not getting great sound for Juicy. Bridgeman, Ryan Kent was very, very
still
busy at the start. Juicy, you're breaking in and out, mate, so we'll go to Bridge. Bridgeman, he was busy at the start, but the goal, a pass with Tavernier down to Sakala. Nice ball with Sakala. Got a bit of luck because it split the defenders. And a good centre forwards finish by Alfie.
Oh, yes, I thought Alfie did what we want Alfie to do. We've been wanting Alfie to do for a wee while, to score some goals and get some confidence up and stop moaning. And, although I don't know if you're ever going to stop him moaning in that sense. But I have to say that, it took a wee while for all of our players just to get into the game. And what you said earlier, just a couple of minutes ago, once they get into it, they started to play football and we looked a good team. It's a nice path as far as pitch, as far as flat, and it's just because it's that plastic pitch. It does something, in different parts of the pitch, whatever it is they've got there, the plastic wraps around the studs or something like that, because their players don't look too steady on it,
But no, the Bambi and ice, mate. It's your feeting, mate. You can't get your feeting on it. There's never. You're always. A lot of people. Some people can play on it and they're all right. Other people look like Bambi and ice. It's just like if you think back when you maybe had a wee bit of ice on a pitch, on a hard pitch. Some people were fine on it and others just were atrocious on it back in the day, Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was down to the quality boots that I used to wear, and everybody else in shite, excuse me the language. So it's really bad. That's exactly what it's like. It's like it was like, I don't know where you remember the red ash pitches at school, and it had just been freezing overnight, and you're out in your gym and you're playing football, and it's just a wee bit of water in the top. Oh my goodness gracious! You slid everywhere. Crazy stuff.
Are you back with us, Juicy?
I'm back. Apologies.
No,
Must be
right.
atmospherics in my region tonight.
Yeah. So we get the goal, and we did control the rest of the half. There was a wee bit of nonsense going on. They were trying to wide the outfield. I think that was deliberate, if I'm being honest, Juicy. Alfred will get booked, and I thought when I seen it back again, because you never seen it live, they get booked for nothing. The boy who eventually gets sent off could have been sent off in the first half. He was booked and rightly booked, and then he had a pull back at somebody's jersey, Juicy, and could have been sent off.
Yeah, potentially. We know that Alfie can be that hothead ox sometimes. And he was in and out of the match again last night, but you've got to be happy with the fact that he got the 2 goals,
Yeah. He got the goals, let's get to the half time. So we goes in. We went one behind again, Bridge. We've got it back to 1 each, and then we start the second half. And right for the first minute of the second half, we should have scored. Ryan Kent.
Great chance.
The ball, yeah.
Great chance. And a good try as well. All you need sometimes is you need that wee break, and it certainly never came for us to that up to then. So we started to see us putting passes together, and Kent's looking. I have to say this. I'm a great fan of his anyway, but Kent's starting to look very, very good.
He's got. No, that particular instance in the first minute of the second half.
No,
when they passed the ball at the park.
Exactly. I think there's some parts of the game is quite difficult, of course, but I think Kent himself is starting to look quite good in the big chunks of the game. He's reveling in that role, but he's getting niggled, and that wee fella that got sent off pulled him back twice. I heard you mention getting pulled back. He pulled him back twice, and another player tried to do it as well. Kent's a wee bit too quick and tricky for him, to be honest. Although that guy got sent off was Kilmarnock's best player, even though he was sitting in the stand for half the game.
He's got quick feet. He's got quick feet on that pitch. So we started the second half okay, Juicy. As I said, we could have scored in the first minute. And then we gets the goal. And that was a bit of a comedy errors as well. The ball went to Ryan Kent. You're thinking he could get through and scored. I think his touch took it wide. He put it into sort of no man's land. Morelos got it, recovered it. He put it into no man's land and Ryan popped up with a good finish. Summed up the whole night. Good, bad and ugly, Juicy.
Yeah, it was a little bit bizarre in the build-up, but the end result was what we wanted it, Ox, to be. But a couple of unintentional passes there. I think they overshot the mark, the pair of them, but it managed to find its way to a Rangers player that just happened to be Mr. Kent, and he continues with his goal-scoring form, which is pleasing.
So we're then 2-1 up. And there's the red card incident. I'll be honest with you, Bridgeman. I think the boy was no lucky, he got a straight red.
I can't agree with you more. To me, it was a straight red. I don't know if I saw the referee actually putting the yellow card up. I was shouting and bawling. The next round, I saw the red card, and for a wee while during the game, I thought it was a straight red card, and then I heard they actually got the second yellow. And I don't understand why he even gave him a second yellow. It was an absolutely shocking thing to do. You just can't do it. He's been around pulling people simply because he's on form, and he makes a wee mistake, and he's got to do a wee bit niggling, and that's all half their team did most of the night. Actually, we just niggled, but that's what he was doing. He was just niggling. I don't think there's anything dreadful in what he's doing or what he's trying to do. But my goodness gracious, that elbow in the face and things like that. Come on, and then turning and saying, "If I touched him, nah, come on." Just nonsense. Get him out with a red card. Raised his hands. Red card, though. There you go.
I think he was lucky he got a second. Well, it was a second yellow, like what you said, but it could have been a red. And
our good pal, Mr. Power, he should have been sent off as well a number of times. He could have got 2 red cards last night. I don't like that guy.
Juicy, it could have been a red for me. Never mind a second yellow.
Yeah, it could have been. I didn't find it a crazily bad-tempered match, Ox, but there were just those few moments, weren't there, where a little bit of hot-headedness can go. Sometimes it can really go against us, can't it, as well? So we've got to be careful. And on that pitch, we've had so many bad times on that pitch, Ox. I'm just pleased we got away with the result, honestly.
Yeah, most of the petty incidents that boy Armstrong was involved in it. I don't think he's in it. I love our team. So we then get the third goal, and we're really controlling the match, Juicy. We're playing some reasonable stuff. We're passing and moving. We're making chances, and it should have been 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6, Juicy.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Ox, we just don't seem to have the shooting boots on to score that many. But I'm just pleased that we're creating, because when we create, the clinicalness will come. Hopefully, Mr. Roof will be back soon, because he is the ultimate clinical player that we have at this club. We just can't get a run of matches out of him, can we?
We've not heard what his injury is yet, but we'll maybe hear in the build-up to Saturday's Cup tie. So we get 3-1 up Bridge, and I'm thinking this will be 4 or 5. And then we just slowed the tempo of the game down. And we started having to defend at times in a game that there shouldn't have been any any hassle at all, Bridge. We made it difficult for ourselves, Bridge.
Absolutely right. Look, the way I was looking at it, the first 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of the game, we were really poor. And we never stepped up, never did anything. We allowed them to press. And we did it in the last 10 minutes of the game. The last 10 minutes, it was all them. And it was all a big high ball up there. Okay, there's a couple of breakaways for us that we should have scored. But the truth of the matter is, we're giving ground away. Just no thinking. We're playing against 10 men, and they're putting pressure on us for 5 or 10 minutes at the end of a game. No right. No right in anybody's language. We should be lording over them.
If it's all right with you two gentlemen, we'll hear what the gaffer's got to say after last night, yeah? Let's hear from Michael Beale.
Michael, what was your take on that tonight?
Well, it was never going to be a beauty contest because I don't think the surface allows for that. I thought, obviously, Kilmarnock started the game extremely well and on the front foot, and we started the complete opposite of that. We didn't heed the warnings that the staff had given the players beforehand. So we find ourselves 1-0 down with a mountain to climb again. Having said that, I thought we recovered well. We dominated possession. We scored a very good goal. And we go in at half-time. We have to organise one or two things. We did. We came out. We got ourselves 3-1 in front and maybe could have gone and scored a couple more. And then in the last 5 minutes, again, give away a sloppy set play. First time really in the second half. They'd been up there and the boy has a fantastic strike. And then it's a little bit less comfortable than what it was looking like. But if I go back to the start, I knew it was going to be a tough game on a tough surface, especially after 120 minutes at the weekend. I would have taken anything to get out of it with 3 points. So I'm not going to sit here and moan, but again, there was moments in there that I was pleased with and other moments that we need to work on. That was clear for everybody.
Is that a concern that, you've seen that start from your side a few times?
Yeah, it is, because I think when you come here and you know what's coming your way, and so you either stand up to it, which we did after that and for large periods. So if you take out the first 5 or 6 minutes and the last 5 or 6 in between, and they're the things that I can't work out at the moment with the group. They're the things we just spoke about in there. But we go again, we're finding a way to win football matches at the moment. Our front three are going through a big shift for the team and they're getting numbers each week. We've managed to rest a couple of players tonight and rotate. But for large parts of the second half, we were extremely comfortable and played really well. And then at the end of the game, obviously we concede and everyone's a bit nervous. But as I said, get out of it with 3 points. It's a tough place to come. I think they've only lost 1 in 9 at home. That was against Livingston, the other team that play on the artificial. And it's the surface is tough.
Did the players offer an explanation about the beginning and the end of the game when you spoke afterwards?
Not with any common sense tonight, no, because there's a little bit of emotion in the air, if I'm honest. But listen, they're as frustrated as me, so we've got to work away at it. I think since I've come in, we've played nearly as many games as we probably had training sessions as a group. So it's been remembering some old themes that we had maybe quite a long time ago now, maybe 18 months ago, some of them themes coming in and then just rocking up and playing the games because we've had a lot of issues with certain people physically. And the results are good. We're in a good moment in terms of results. So we just need to tighten the screws on 1 or 2 areas. And then, because we're scoring goals. We're scoring lots of goals. I thought we could have scored more tonight. I thought it was quite wasteful in the second half in big moments as well. So they're just the areas that we're going to need to work on. And listen, we can't keep going behind and coming back. So it's all right saying it's a fantastic mentality, but we can't keep doing it, that's for sure.
You're supposed to keep it again. Is that something you're going to continue to end the season?
I think maybe if we hadn't played 120 minutes at the weekend, we might have stuck. I think it was the right thing to do tonight. I think everyone should expect to see Alan again at the weekend. And then after that, we'll assess from there. I think it is clear at the end of the season, we need to either bring a goalie in or make sure that we've made a decision on John or Robbie to be number one. And so I have to give that, and I have to give all the players in-house an opportunity as well, because I am going to change players in this squad over time. I am going to change the look of Rangers to move forward. We're going to re-energise it with young players coming in, and we've got a lot of uncertainty around some of ours. At the moment, everyone's pulling in the right direction. I couldn't be more pleased with the 3 goalkeepers I've got right now, if I'm honest. Obviously, Robbie's not fit. but he was in Scotland's last squad, so he was the third choice. Obviously, Craig's got injured, so Robbie's really keen to play. And whenever John plays, he does well for us.
That was Alfredo's first double of the season, and he looked as if he was more on the edge tonight, if you know what I mean, probably in a good way. But he's not been like that in some of the games. Do you detect that as well? Do you think he's getting back to doing what he does best?
He couldn't have been any worse than he was first half before he scored, if I'm honest. So, no, look, I'm tough on Alfredo. We have a really honest relationship. He was much better second half, I thought, than he was first half. He secured the ball a lot more in the first half. He's trying, and he does some things that are spontaneous that come off, but when they don't, sometimes he can leave the team open. He made a similar pass tonight to the one he made against Celtic, which in those moments, that's not what I want. It's not what the team want. We want him up around the centre half, using his body, helping the team come up the pitch. And I thought he took both his goals really well tonight.
You also get the cup tie on Saturday, but how much you looking forward to having a free week after that to be able to work on a few things?
Yeah, definitely. For everyone, it's been a big push this last period. We've got a huge game at the weekend. We need to go to Perth, and we have to put on another strong performance. What we need is the result. So at the moment, we need the results as much as we need the performance. But if I had to choose one, I would prefer the results to keep coming, because over time you would think that the group would improve.
If you're given a full match week, have you got a long list of things you want to do during that time?
A few conversations to be had with one or two players, a few things to highlight, but I'm seeing signs. Like at times in the second half tonight, we were so comfortable in the game on a difficult surface. Our style would sort of overcome Kilmarnock's, which they were more dominant in the early part of the game. We were really comfortable. We were 3-1 up. We could have gone and maybe scored a couple more. And it's just them moments. Maybe that's communication. Maybe that's the concentration. They're the things. The staff don't play. All we can do is give them the warnings, and then on the pitch they need to come together in them moments and be more assertive, I think.
Michael, Russell Martin said that Swansea took a little bit more on the Whittaker. Did you give Rangers take on that?
Did he really? I didn't know we'd made a bid, but if he says we did, then I'll talk about the player. I think he's a good player. They've recalled him for a reason. I would say that he was one of the best, if not the best player, one of the better, if not the best players in League One in the first half of the season, and they've recalled him. So unless they're recalling him to play him, they must be recalling him to move him to a higher level. I think he's a good player, but there's nothing more than that. That's not what I've been told in-house.
Michael, you said that you've got to make a decision about McLaughlin or McCrory come the end of the season, which one is going to be number one. Does that suggest that Alan McGregor's, you don't foresee him taking any part at all next season?
Well, we've not had that conversation, but I'm sure Alan is of an age that he's thinking about is coming nearer to the end. He's obviously out of contract as well. I think Alan played well at the weekend. I think there's a lot of noise around our goalkeeper situation, but I wasn't here in the first half when those things happened. I've been here now, and I've been quite happy with the goalkeepers.
All right, gentlemen. I've got to say, Michael Beale, very, very honest. Alfredo Morelos, gave him a tight there, Bridge.
He didn't have. Well, the writing's on the wall for Alfredo after our manager said that about him. I really believe that sincerely. He's going to be told in no uncertain terms by the manager. Hopefully, he's scored 2 goals, so that may have cheered him up to no end. And all right, boss, I'll do this and I'll do that, or whatever. But it gives him, shall we say, it gives him a chance. It gives the manager a chance to say, well done for the goals, but the rest of your game was crap, and you need to get moving, and probably tell him. Now, I don't know what you guys think. I think he's way overweight. Don't want to say too much about the guy, but I think he's way overweight. But he still scores good goals. That was 2 good goals he scored last night. He was in the spot to do it, and could have had a couple if he had a wee bit more luck on his turn. But he turns like that's a big boss, isn't it? He's trying to turn. He's murder poles at times. But no, I think the manager's good, and the manager's going to tell him straight. And not just him, probably more.
I agreed with Michael Beale's summary again. He was put up to go the goal, and then in the second half, for about half an hour, he looked more like his old self, Juicy, if I'm being honest.
And that probably, for me, Ox, was one of the most pleasing things about the match as a whole. It's just a shame that that inconsistency still reigns supreme, doesn't it? But we saw a little glimpse, Ox, last night of that classic Alfie and just showing us what he can do at times, winning fouls, being difficult, backing into players, and that ability to finish, which is there. We know he's not the most clinical Ox, but we saw a little glimpse last night. We just need to see more of that.
Correct. You actually get booked for nothing. I tell you what we're going to do now. We'll get these phone lines opened. Come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Phone in. You can speak to the posh boy for the show last night. He'll phone you back and we'll bring you into the call. Easy bridge, innit?
Easy peasy. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I think his summing up of the game is very fair, Bridge. The whole game, Michael Beale, I've got to be honest, there's a graces about him. He pretty much says it pretty much similar to a lot of the people who are involved on hearsay.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know very many Rangers fans are unhappy with him in any way. And he's only in the door. I can't remember, it was 8 or 9 games, he said, under his belt now. Just wait for another 3 months with him, and if he's still winning, can't complain. And that's all we want. We just want him to win, and then he's got to obviously guide the guys and cheer them up, and all the things a good manager will do, and see how he gets on. Look, I know we got under a bit of pressure last night for Kilmarnock, but to me, in my mind, there's absolutely no way Kilmarnock, in the way they played last night, were going to beat us. We beat ourselves, if anything, So we were well worth the victory, but it should have been. They shouldn't have scored 1 goal, never mind 2. So, but I must admit, their second goal was a beezer. First goal header, good goal. The second goal was a beezer. But we had 6 Rangers players standing there watching that ball coming in. Never seen
it. Was a great finish, Spirit lad. A great finish, the second goal. However, I didn't think Ben Davis and I didn't think Bernard Banisic covered herself in glory, Juicy.
No, they didn't. And let's be fair, this wasn't an isolated incident, was it, Ox? Our season has been, and even under Beale, season has been peppered with bad defensive decisions or ball watching or just a multitude of things at the back. Obviously, the chopping and changing at times hasn't been great. And now we've got a consistent back four, but they still haven't ironed out all of those woes. He's got to be looking at that as a priority, of course, but there's issues still all over the pitch, Ox. We've got to strengthen that midfield, which we'll be moving on to later, and we've got to get some of those strikers back from the injury list.
Yeah, hopefully, the way they were talking, Cholak could be involved for the weekend, but we'll hear more tomorrow when we hear from Michael Beale, and hopefully we get good news on Kemar Roof, and we've got options through the middle, Bridge.
Well, it'd be good news if you get some chance of Kemar Roof. And yes, Cholak, pleased to hear Cholak coming back. He needs a break. I don't mean a break from football, but he needs a wee break in luck. Because sometimes you get that injury, you just come back and another wee injury, and it can go on like that for a couple of times. I hope he gets a wee bit of luck on that. And of course, Mr. Roof, the man's sometimes quite dynamite on the pitch when he's on form, and we need to get him on form. It'd be nice to see him back on form.
Yeah, so we won the game. I said it last night, and I can't think of a better phrase to sum it up. Good, bad, and ugly.
Don't hold back, you Oxford. Just get to it.
No, the ugly was the start of the game. The good was for about 20 minutes through to about 85. And then the bad was the last 10 minutes when we should have been seeing the game out and made it comfortable for ourselves and got maybe a 4th or a 5th goal, Juicy. That's the way I've seen it.
Last 10 minutes, Hawks, was too much of a sweat fest for my liking. We don't need these sweaty ends to matches where we concede a late goal or we're just hanging on with only that 1-goal margin, because it doesn't really matter, does it, how the match has gone, whether we've played really well or whether it's been a tricky affair. If you're going into the last 10 minutes but there's only 1 goal in it, Ox, they only need one chance. And, we paid for that under Gio, didn't we, where we weren't scoring enough. So, we're scoring a few more up front now, but we're not tight at the back. So, we want to be able to enjoy the matches and a little bit more relaxation. None of us are getting any younger. We don't need this trauma.
Speak for yourself.
Unbelievable. I'm
right,
sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Aye, so we get the result. No the greatest performance, but Bridgman, if you think back with the team we had, we always struggled down there, in the last few years, and we went there and we've won in one and we're more, I don't know, convincing's the right word, but we've won easier than we usually do down there, yeah, because we've got a poor record.
We do have a poor record. But what makes it all kind of more strange and tense for the Rangers fans is, number one, their manager, who the Rangers fans just don't like, dislike passionately, let's put it that way. And of course, half the people they've got in their team don't like us for obvious reasons. And that's a bit of a blow to the Rangers fans. But could I ask you two guys a question? Was there any limitation on the Rangers fans last night? Because that stadium wasn't full, by any stretch of the imagination.
Any what?
I could see
Any
Rangers
limitation?
fans.
What?
We're only allowed to take 5,000 or something.
We only got tickets for the one stand behind the goal bridge. That was it.
Okay, that's fair. I just wanted to know. But the rest of the stands weren't full.
The economics of Scottish football, do you see, yeah? What? About 5,000 empty seats times 30 quid a head. 150,000.
Yeah, it's sad to see. I know that the directors of all of the other clubs would love it if their fans could sell out the other stands, of course. But if they can't, they should be selling them to us so that at least they can make a few quid and improves the atmosphere of the match. It doesn't make a lot of sense. They've got to think about what's good for their club financially as well. But they don't.
They've also got a duty to the game in the country when you're putting that out in the main broadcaster and you're seeing the stadiums empty. To be fair, it wasn't the only stadium that was empty last night. I've never seen so many green seats when I've seen Sky Sports News today. Anyway,
well said.
But we'll see what it takes. I don't get it, Jussie. I really don't. I get that people don't like being moved for their own seat, to accommodate away fans, but the economics just don't make sense. That 150,000 for that one game. That's just one game. Potentially, there's another 2 against them and 1 against us.
Yeah,
we're talking about maybe £600,000. They can't afford to knock that back.
No, not with the state of Scottish football, not with the TV deal that's in existence. Kilmarnock don't tend to be involved in the big prizes, do they? Them getting to the semi-final at the weekend, probably going to be the highlight of their season, Ox. The
highlight of their season would have been when they went 1-0 up against us, mate.
Oh yeah, probably. My apologies. I forgot who they were playing, of course. But it's not just Kilmarnock. We see that across the piece, don't we, Ox? With all the teams.
Aye, that's that. I mean, I understand that we should be the biggest team in the country, so we're always going to be the biggest game, and teams are going to be up for you. But look at just the result through Tynecastle last night. 5 overs in the pitch against us, and then go and get beat with 5 against another team. Anyway, we've been joined by Bobby. Evening, Bobby.
Hi, Obs. I'm just following up about the goalkeeper situation. I think what I've seen, I watched the game last night. I wasn't at the game. I watched the game, and we've got a big problem in the goalkeeper. A big problem. The problem is we're scoring three goals, and we're still holding on at the end. That shouldn't be happening.
Listen, I never thought I'd see this live in air, but I agree with Bobby. I do think, listen, I understand the logic what we tried to do in the summer. John McLaughlin gave him the number 1 jersey because he'd done okay for us and done well for us. As soon as we gave him the number 1, just say it's no work to it. Alan's sands of time, wait for no man. We've got an issue.
It needs to be addressed, if not this month, absolutely in the summer, because McGregor, to be fair to the guy, has been reasonably decent this season. Probably more consistent than John McLaughlin at times, but they both had their moments still. And unfortunately for the big man, as you said there, Ox, time is against him now. We need to be looking at another option, because the manager did say that McCrory was going to get some game time, but it's not happened yet. And if he's only getting game time when the league is gone and there's nothing else to play for, you know that there's no real trust there.
Bridge?
Well, look, do we fancy McCrory or not? To me, it's as simple as that. We've seen McGregor, who hasn't been 100%, not safety-wise, not 100%, still a great shot stopper, and it's the same with that boy McLaughlin. But the two of them, I don't know if they're going to be with us next season, just for saying sake. But we're going to have to obviously find who's going to be the number 1. And I think the manager has hinted that this could be Alan's last time at Rangers, last season, rather as. So that's fine. So he's either going to go with McLaughlin at the present moment, McLaughlin, or the boy McCrory. I don't understand why we don't put the boy McCrory in. Now, I have to admit that. I think he's been a smashing keeper. So he needs to get a couple of games under his belt again and get out there and see how he does. We've seen him a couple of times, and he's never let us down that way, you know.
I don't think he's let it go in for the first team, but
there you go.
There's been too many managers no give him a shot, and that worries me. Bobby, I agree with you. I think it's something we're going to have to look at, but I don't think we'll be doing it in this window. I think it'll be the summer. We maybe need 1 or 2, yeah?
No, but my point is, Hobbs, we've still got a Scottish Cup and a League Cup to go for, and we've still got a chance in the league, yeah? We've still got a chance. Maybe it's a slim chance, but we're just going to say, "Oh, we'll go to summer." This is what annoys me. Really, never mind about the summer. We should get a goalkeeper in now, a real decent goalkeeper.
Who springs to mind?
Well, I phoned you up a couple of months ago. What was that sprung to mind was Sander Clark, free. If he's no good, he's no costing us nothing.
Well, he signed with Hearts now, so he's off the table. You want to know?
Aye. But I'm talking about when they give McGregor the last 2 minutes, sign this guy for free. And if he's no good, he's no good. It's no costing us nothing. But I'm telling you now, Hobbs, this goalkeeper is going to cause us problems. I watched it last night. He got a wee thing before the goal went in, and he nearly made a mistake again. And
it was a similar mistake to the goal, Bobby. It was very similar.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't learn for that, but they came out. The next one, I'm saying, these goalkeepers are going to cost us. We can't keep on scoring 3 goals and hanging on. I think that's about 3 times Beale's for he's been in charge. We've scored 3 goals and we've hung on 3 times. That can't be right.
I think, obviously, we beat Aberdeen 3-2, came from behind, and then we beat them.
We beat Hibs.
Beat Hibs 3-2, we were behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, we beat Kilmarnock 3-2, and we've been behind. Juicy.
And that does show a level of resilience, guys. But it doesn't mean that I don't think it's negativity from fans that want to talk about things that need improving worse. You know, I welcome people to phone in, Ox, and talk about things that need fixing with the team. Because Beale has admitted that himself, guys. Things need to be fixed. We are still way too frail defensively. And a lot of that does start and end with the goalkeeping situation. But those centre-backs have got to take responsibility as well. Do you guys feel that our goalkeeper, whichever one it is, Ox, has got sufficient protection at the moment from those centre-back players?
If all the goals we'd lost had been like the first goal last night, I could point a real finger at the centre backs, but the goals have all been different. Bobby?
Yeah, nearly every goal is either a stupid mistake or somebody doesn't come out or somebody stays in the line too long or it just can't go on. It's I was watching the game last night and Kamala's got 10 men, right, Obs?
Yes.
10 men they've got.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last 2 minutes, I wasn't even watching the telly. I was up having a fag. And I was going, this shouldn't be happening.
Mm-hmm. Aye, I get your point. We just went deeper, and sometimes I think it comes from, you know, the sometimes the too much possession, Bridgeman, instead of just getting the ball forward. We try and then you lose it in an area where you give a team a chance.
Yeah, and we're back to when we do these kind of things that you're speaking about, we end up pressing, and possibly the wrong time to press. Have a long shots. Have a long shots at goal. Don't press, because 9 times out of 10, well, no 9 times out of 10, it's a bit too much. But let's say 50-50 chance that we're going to lose that ball in one of the passes. We like to do something to be intricate, but when it comes off, it's brilliant. But when it doesn't, it's disastrous. And if you've got basically 10 players in their half, and they actually break away, we lose the ball at a strategic point when everybody's in the front foot attacking. It takes a wee while to turn back and get back up the park again. And that's what happened a number of times to us this season. We've been caught out, and before you know it, our centre halves are swamped with 3 or 4, maybe 5 players that have run past our midfielders who were going forward. And that's the crazy thing. I want to see our players getting the ball from 30 yards, 25 yards, and have a dig, get a dipping shot in, and test the keeper. It keeps them down in their own half, in their own goal line. And that's what matters. Let them take goal kicks. Don't give the ball away and leave our players stranded, which we've been doing for quite a while.
Yeah, we can be. Look, Bobby, we won the game last night. You've been down there yourself, mate, and you've seen us struggle. Yeah. So we struggled at the start, we struggled at the end. In between, we played some decent stuff at times. But we got the victory. And first and foremost, that's what it's all about. What's your thoughts on that part, Bobby?
Well, I don't think any kind of answer should be in a Premier League. And I also don't think that was a showcase for Sky. And the pub is half empty. No, your fault.
No, correct, mate.
Other people are watching that and they're going, that's a Premier League team. The park's empty. So I don't understand. I just don't understand why they don't give the tickets. I can't understand what's the logic behind it. Because when that mob go there, they get the 2 ends.
No, they've not given them nearer, mate.
Well, I'm talking about last season.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kilmarnock weren't in, I don't think. When did they come up? They
just the season.
No, I was just talking about. I'm talking about when they were up. They stopped it for 2 ends.
They stopped it for both Old Firm clubs at the same time, Bobby. Not just us. We've got to be fair.
All right.
But I'm with you. I don't understand the economics. It does not make sense. Juicy Bear?
No, as we said earlier, Ox, it doesn't make any sense. And you would think if you're running a football club that doesn't make a crazy amount of money. You know, they don't get any European football. They don't tend to get lengthy cup runs. You would think you'd do what's best. If your fans aren't turning up, you've got to think about other mechanisms to make cash. I find it ever so surprising, guys, and it's just so frustrating. So many Rangers fans, Ox, that could be going to the game.
Yeah, you've got people doubling up to get in. I wouldn't have minded seeing that when Southside and Big Stevie went through the same turn time.
What a shocker.
Aye, but I'm with Bobby. It just doesn't make sense. It takes the atmosphere away. The ground could be full. The Kilmarnock fans could be all together, and they could get a better atmosphere to get behind the team. The place is rocking. It becomes a merry spectacle. No, it doesn't make it a better game, Bobby, but you can argue it makes it a merry spectacle.
Oh, well, it makes it merry. If I put all the Kilmarnock supporters in the one stand, well, they're all together. And if we give us the two stands and a wee bit of the other one, it brings an atmosphere. The atmosphere was dead except for the Rangers end last night, what I was listening. It was just dead. There was nothing for the banner. But that's going away from the question. My question was, I'm not too confident in Rangers winning anything with their goalkeepers. My question is, their goalkeepers are going to cost us.
Yeah, I'm not picking up that we're going to replace them in January, and hopefully they're working on something, going forward. Juicy.
Well, there's a lot of quality goalkeepers out there, guys. I don't know exactly who will be out of contract or who will be available for a sum that we can afford, but there's plenty of quality out there. And goalkeepers aren't normally crazy expensive, even some of the top level ones. So, it's a market that we should be dipping into. Regardless of what happens, guys, we're in the good position of having European football next season, and there's things that can entice people to want to come and play for Rangers. Not that you should need enticing, it's Rangers, but there are those extras that come with it, and who wouldn't want to come and play for us, guys? But we need to be looking now at what other options there are, and the Spanish league, the French league, the English league. There'll be plenty of players that will be looking for an opportunity. I sound like I want to be working in the Rangers technical team and doing some scouting, because it's been slim pickings this month, Ox.
What you mean for players?
Yes.
Hold your breath, Juicy. Hold your breath.
I know.
Could be like buses. You're waiting for one and then two come at once, Bridgeman, eh?
Well, that does happen. I have to admit that does happen, but I have to say I'm getting a bit. I'm like Juicy. I'm just desperate for it to happen, and a wee bit impatient. So you'll have to forgive all of us for that. And most Rangers fans are all champing it a bit.
No.
Well, mate, it's the 20th. It's the 20th of January.
You've just got to wait. It's getting the right players in. We signed John Brown. That didn't excite a lot of people. Look at the legend he became. We signed Daniel Prodan, the star, and look what happened there, Bobby.
Who?
Daniel Prodan.
Who was he? Was that him who went to Hearts?
No, the Romanian guy never kicked a ball for us.
Him.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. But I think somebody else. I think we'll get somebody like for Hearts. Suter never kicks a ball for us. But,
you might see John Suter on Saturday, mate.
Aye, for about 20 minutes or something. Okay.
You might see
that's fine.
You might see him.
Obviously saying we keep on phoning up, talking about midfielders. We need a midfielder. All I'm phoning up tonight for is we badly need a goalkeeper. Badly.
We have agreed with you. The threes have agreed with you, Bobby.
Yeah. So that's what the point is. Never mind a midfielder. No, we need a goalkeeper, and we'll get to the end of the season. Never mind get to the end of the season, we'll sign a goalkeeper in the summer. That doesn't matter to me. I want to win the 2 cups. I want to win the league. So I want to see the best. No, we score 3 goals, 4 goals, and we're hanging on. That doesn't make sense to me.
I would take that for the end of the season. Juicy?
Any kind of victory, my man Bobby. You know, if just grind it out. You know, we've had plenty of seasons, underwater where we just were the absolute best at grinding results out. Sometimes it wasn't always a pretty affair, and I think we'd all rather have flamboyant, sexy football where you get the result as well. But we don't get that in this league. We have to grind results out on a lot of occasions. Even when we've had top Rangers sides, Ox, we've had to grind. And, we've got to keep going in the league. You don't know what will happen. I know it's going to be difficult. We've got to try and be realistic about it. But just keep improving, guys. Just keep improving. And the 2 cups are right there for us, as Bobby said. Big McLeish in his first season, if memory serves you right, he started during the season after Dick Advocate went a bit nuts, remember? And he bagged the 2 cups. And the following season, he won the treble. So, things can happen once you get momentum under a new manager.
It's all about winning football matches, Bridgman.
Yeah, we're not. Everybody agrees with what we're saying. All the wee things that we're saying are all most Rangers fans feel virtually the same. The big controversy that Bobby was saying has something to do with goalkeepers we desperately need. I don't think he's going to go and buy a goalkeeper now. I think it's going to be end of the season. But then again, do we really need one? Do we need to go out and buy one? I don't know. These are just people's opinion. There's a lot of folks swear by John McLaughlin, and he's a natural to take over from Alan McGregor.
I think he was Bridgman. I'm
saying that, but would that still be their choice now?
No, I think that ship might have sailed.
Yeah, I think so too, pal. I think so too. You're seeing frailties of age kicking in. No disrespect to them in any way, shape or form. But you're starting to see the frailties of age kicking in. That big goalkeeper with Kilmarnock, he was quite a good goalkeeper.
6 foot 6, Bridge. 6 foot 6.
Well, that's the kind of person you're looking for in your I don't mean go and buy him, but that's the kind of size you're looking for. And he took the responsibility. I'll take all the free kicks. So he was letting all the players go off and do the sort of the attacking bit, and I'll just take the free kicks. And he was doing them well, causing us havoc. But a good goalkeeper too. The boy McCrory's not even 6'2", I don't think.
No, he's actually injured at the moment. I don't know when he'll be back fit, but I'm sure we'll hear it. Bobby, you made the point about the goalkeeper. Who shone for you last night in the match?
Morelos.
He came into the game, didn't he, as soon as he got his goal, yeah?
Yeah, well, he could have scored a hat-trick maybe 4. I thought the guy played well. And 2 weeks ago, we said, nah, don't play it there. But we've nobody else to play, right? So we need to play the good boy, right? But I thought last night he played well. I'm going to take my hat off and say he played well, mate.
Aye, fair play, Bobby. I thought he grew into the game, and obviously the one that the goalie saved, I think it was actually a good save, if I'm honest, Bobby. The goalie we get down to get it, no?
So, Morelos, I thought the boy Tillman, when he came on, he looked good.
It was a lovely bit of skill when he put it through his hands, wasn't it?
Well, he looked good. Don't forget, Tillman's a good player. But to me, I get frustrated with watching him. He can be brilliant. He can be, and he can go out a game and he can get in again. I'm looking for a wee bit more after boy. That's all. He's a great player. And a right good team, he would show it, right, and a right good team. But I thought Morelos was good for his last night.
Aye, I get where Bobby's coming from.
Sakala was all right.
He was our best player in the first half, I thought, Bobby.
Sakala is fine. He tries. That's all I'm looking for, Robs. I'm looking for somebody that tries.
To be fair, Juicy, it was his pass that made the first goal after he done well.
Bobby's absolutely right there, my guy. It's Sakala is a wee bit inconsistent, but you cannot fault the boy's effort. And he's been involved now almost every Beale match, hasn't he? And he's doing bits and pieces in every match. And I think he is the best option we have on that right side at the moment. And Scott Wright has come in here or there and looked a little bit better. Still feel like he runs like a headless chicken at times, but so does Fashion from time to time. But he does have that little bit of quality. The boy can finish. And I'm still not entirely made up about what his best position is. It possibly still is from the left side. But he's making that right side his own, though, at the moment, guys.
I'm a fan of Fashion Sakala. I know he could follow the ball anytime, Bridge, but he's no. He gives you what he's got, and his numbers are no bad. He'll score goals and make goals. Yeah. Bridge.
I do apologise, pal. I do apologise there. We all see the good side of Fashion Sakala, and obviously when he's playing well, he's a lovely big smile. The length of Sucky Hall seat, that smile, and it's great to see. And he's playing well for us, isn't he? He's really playing well for us. And that point that you made, a couple of boys made about he's played nearly every game since Beale came back, and that's the truth. Because I think Beale really, really likes him, and I think he's challenging him every time they puts him on. Now you're going to get wild flashes of him managing to get into the box and smashing the ball 10 yards wide and God knows how many yards high. That's what he's going to do. There's a few times he's going to get the ball and it's going to be very close, but at the post, goalkeeper saving it, and he'll score goals. He will score goals.
Aye. He's got that in his locker, Bobby. He's going to do the spectacular, then he's going to do the ridiculous, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what you expect of him. But that's what you expected of years ago, Ted McMahon. And you didn't know what he was doing, but you don't know what Sakala's doing. But I just let a try, Rob. He's trying. He's not in the part hiding. He'll try, give me the ball. It might not come off. It might definitely not come off. 9 times out of 10 it'll not come off. But he's trying. That's what I like about the boy.
Aye. I don't disagree with you, mate. I don't disagree with you. Right, we're going building up to the tune. I never asked you two fellas before we go to the tune, Juicy and then Bridge. Who was your man in the match, Juicy?
Tricky one for me, Ox. But for the second half performance alone, Alfredo Morelos. He got the goals. He did what we needed to do to get into that game and to then win the game. And it wasn't a great all-round performance, but for me, he did enough. Special mention to Kent as well. I thought his running has been good recently.
Bridgman? Bridge?
Oh. Sorry about that again. I'd go the opposite way to Juicy. I would go for Ryan Kent first, and because he scored the 2 goals, Alfredo Morelos a second. But Ryan Kent for me is playing really, really well. Some parts of his game's still a bit stunted, but he's got to come up, and he's the one to give him the ball, and there's something will happen. That's what I say.
All right, get yourself in mute. You put your phone in mute, Bobby, because we're going to have a tune.
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambition ambitions would grow. Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. Four lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 55 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. For lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are born. 65 titles, we're still going strong. To start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are born. 55 titles, I'm still going strong. 55 titles, we're still going strong.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yep, come and join us, 0141 356 1972. That's what already says, aye. Aye, we move on. The transfer window, you've already mentioned your disappointment, Juicy, but things are bubbling along nicely. Yeah, and a few deals, I think.
Give me some news, my friend. Give me some news. Talk to me.
Well, we put it out yesterday, didn't we? For our sources. That,
yeah. The
Todd Cantwell deal was done. We don't usually say things like that, do we?
Big exclusive from Rangers Radio. Big exclusive.
Unusual.
Fantastic news. We're getting those scoops, baby.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Sometimes they're there. You've just got to listen for the subtle clues, Juicy.
Those friends get to go to see. My name is what did you see? The indisputable leader of the game. He's the boss and he's the tip. He's the championship. He's the most top cat.
Was a cartoon that was, Bobby, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Not as good as the Bobby song, but
well, no.
TC. Well, we thought we might get an announcement tonight. Definitely in order, Tuesday. Definitely in order. And you never know, as we said, like buses, you're waiting then to come together.
Yes, absolutely, Ox. There's more transfer speculation. You know, it's hard to speculate.
Devonshire Gardens have been extremely busy, Juicy. You maybe don't know where that is, but Bobby done a lot of his winching there.
Where?
Devonshire Gardens.
No. I was made a Savoy Victoria's man, mate.
I don't think they let me or you into Devonshire Gardens, Bobby.
No, there's no chance of that happening.
Right. Come and give your thoughts. Looks as if we've looked Cantwell in. You know, I see him there as an attacking midfielder, Juicy. Yeah? We've seen when he burst onto the scene, can get about the pitch. But I know he's maybe not set a hair on fire in the last year. He started his career with a bang. The manager must want him, so that's the most important thing. Must see that he can improve for first team. Juicy, yeah?
Yeah, and hopefully the boy's injury troubles are behind him. We know that he's had some issues with that in recent years, and the fact that he's not been consistently appearing in the Norwich team. But if he's fit, I think he'll do well for us. And Championship is a tough league. He's appeared in the Premier League as well, so he's got experience behind him, guys. And we need to strengthen the midfield. We've got guys that are going to be leaving that position, people who are close to retirement or going to be moved on. It's an important position,
Yeah. I mean, as much as I like the guy, I thought the game passed Scotty Arfield by last night, Bobby.
Oh, definitely. But I like Scotty as well, but I pass him by, obviously. Definitely pass him by if it's too. But I'm not going to sit here and criticise the guy.
No. A lot of time for Scotty Arfield. I don't think he was the worst in the midfield, actually. I thought John Lundstrom had a poorer game than Scotty. Personally, but everybody sees the game differently. But so you're right, Juicy, we're going to have to refresh that if you like the engine room in there, mate, and maybe this is the start of it coming, yeah?
Yeah, hopefully it is the start, because the fans have been getting excited. We've all been clamouring to hear what's going on. It's taken perhaps a little bit longer than some of us fans would like, guys. But it's also important that we get the right people in. You can never win as a manager, can you? You rush your signings, you bring them in, they don't work out, you get criticised for rushing and buying players. You try and be a bit thoughtful and bring someone in who you think will be good for the team and you've been considered about it. People freak out saying you're taking too long. So you can never really win as the manager. The only way you'll win is if the player you sign does well. And that's what we're all hoping he'll do. The same with any Rangers player.
Yeah, Bobby, every signing's a gamble, innit? Only time will tell.
Well, to me, every signing's a good signing. It's let's see what they can do. It's not about where this boy's been in. It's let's see what you can do for us, mate. Listen, all I'm concerned about is the Rangers. I'm not interested about any other team. I'm concerned about the Rangers. I want the Rangers to be, and if you get a player in that's going to do well for us, like the boy Lawrence, before he went out injured, that's good enough for me. I'm more interested in the Rangers and what they can do. So if this boy Cantwell come, I heard the day he'd signed.
It's a done deal. It's a done deal, mate. It's a done deal.
It's done. It's totally done. So that's us warm.
But you listen. I don't suppose you believe it till you see the guy with the scarf for the head, yeah? No,
I don't believe anything because I've been cut out. Can I tell you a fact? It might not be interesting to you, right? Or anybody else. But see the last 3 players Rangers went for? No, last 2. PSV Eindhoven came in from Storeham. Right? That was Verman and wee boy for Paris. I don't know what his name is. Now they're interested in Cantwell.
Mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't publicise anything. We should just go and sign them.
I think it's very difficult, Juicy, with modern agents who will always be trying to play one off in case there's a super offer comes in.
Yeah, and that's what makes the process longer, Bobby, with all those parties that are involved now. It would be lovely if we just put the money on the table and the guy comes, but sometimes we just got to be patient, and there's not long left of January though, guys. What have we got, Ox? Just another week and a bit after tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the pressure's going to go up a bit, and then we might be pushed into maybe spending a little bit more money on it and the like. But hopefully we get who we want.
One done, two to go. Yeah, things are moving, things are bubbling. I told you they're like buses, Juicy. Calm down. Very impatient, Bobby, ain't he?
Who's the two in? What position?
Yeah, I think it's an arm midfield player and a right winger, mate.
Well, I think we're right to this season with the right winger. I'll keep it Sakala, right? For this season. But I think we actually need another forward.
Aye, maybe you might be right. Obviously, you couldn't hang your hat on Kemar Roof. We don't know the Alfredo Morelos situation with his contract, and then you've obviously got Cholak who's running into injuries. So I get your point, mate. Juicy.
Well, look, what do we really want, guys? We want to get someone in who has a better injury record than everyone you've just mentioned there. Okay, we want to get someone in who.
Bobby's just desperate for us to sign Kevin Nisbet.
No, that's not happening, mate.
No, whatever we think
That's
about Kevin Nisbet.
That's what I heard. You're right, Oxley. I heard that.
Bobby, the guy scores goals, but he's got the unfortunate injury record as well in recent times. So, it's tricky.
Listen, just I never said Kevin Nisbet.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I never said Kevin Nisbet. Whoa. I said no. He's got injury worries as well. No. I was opposite saying it to you.
Since Bobby said no, he scored 5 goals in 2 games. Is that right, Bobby? Oh dear. Aye, listen, we'll see, but I get it. Look, we're going to need players all over the pitch, and the manager, it's up to him. We're going to give him a bit of faith. I think Bridgman's back with his bridge. It's important that the manager's getting the players in the positions that he wants and recognise where he thinks there's a weakness, because that's his job, and he'll live and die by that, yeah?
Yeah, 100%, yeah. But it's unfortunately for the manager, the Rangers fans have got to accept what the manager's going to do and live with it and go support it. 100% support. Because a lot of them don't want certain players, and that's the same of every player that we've probably bought. There's been a voice in among the crowd that says we don't really fancy him, and then we score a hat trick, and all of a sudden they're the star of the world, But there's people just don't want certain players to come to our club. And I dare say at some point they'll be listened to one way or another. But I think the manager must be given the time.
I'll go back to my point, Bridge. We signed John Brown. People were like, oh.
Agreed, pal. And many others, by the way. And others as well.
Look at the job he done. Look at that guy with son for Wraith Rovers back in the day. People were like, who's he? Yeah?
You dare talk about Baxter?
You know what I mean?
You boy. Yeah. Baxter was a world star when he was playing.
You know what I mean? Signed this guy for Wraith Rovers. Couldn't he run? Couldn't he tackle? People were like, it's rubbish.
Didn't know what a ball was.
Didn't he turn it too bad, did he?
No. Listen, son, don't worry about the game. Just get about to me. Best player I've ever seen, I'll tell you. Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow.
So you just have to wait and see. You've got to, if you're on the Express, we have to give Bill a chance, just saying, let him slowly build his own team, or quickly build his own team, depending on how it goes.
Exactly. He can't do any more than what he's got to work with. The transfer window's only opened recently. He's improved the team, as I said at the top of the show. We're not playing the sexy football yet that all Rangers fans want to see. I know that. But we are improving. And hopefully, if he can get the sign-ins in that he's identified, make a few tweaks here or there, get more of the injured players back, I know I say that every week on here, guys, but I'm going to keep saying it until we've got all those guys back. He's going to be able to play a team that he wants to be able to put on that pitch that would be his first choice, which Gio rarely ever had that luxury. And hopefully this manager gets that opportunity to actually pick his first choice 11 odds.
Yeah. Listen, the posh boy was on the show last night. He's saying that this boy Raskin, it looks as if it's a deal that's moving closer and closer potentially, is a severe talent. Mr. Fox's words, no mine, Bridgeman. Bridge?
Keep switching myself off and losing it. Yeah, Raskin, did you say?
Aye, Raskin. No Rascal, that's you.
No. I think that I've only read a wee bit about him, and it's been positive all the way. So yeah, didn't even know he was actually on our radar. But if that comes in, my goodness gracious, you get that Todd Cantwell and that boy in, you've done well. You've done really well in this window, from being nowhere in the window, to getting two good players in.
Aye.
It's good. So,
Bobby, but earlier on the show you said you fancied the boy Tom Lawrence when you seen him at the start of the season.
Yeah.
What position would you play him in, mate?
In a kind of all position. The all position, no, that's 4-1-3-2-6-7-9. Like a kind of inside left.
So you see him playing in the position?
Doing about Alan McDonald. Something like that.
Right, okay. Know where Kent's playing this now, Bobby?
No.
No, deeper than that?
Deep, a wee bit deeper, yeah. Doing about the centre line and passing boys through. He's a good player, wee boy. But I'm kind of old-fashioned. I'd say that's 4-2-3, 3-1-2, or whatever. That means nothing to me. Doing about inside right, inside left, if you know what that means.
I do. Right, so come and join us. Give us your thoughts. I know there's a big game on, but this is Rangers Radio for Rangers supporters. Come and join us in 0141356 1972. And great to see your skipper back controlling the lobby tonight. Things are changing. Right, so 3-2 last night. We're on a roll. Michael Beale. We said earlier, just that he's very, very honest in his comments. Do you think that's something that could maybe come back and bite him? Because he says it as it is, eh?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And, he was pretty honest about Morelos, wasn't he, amongst other things. If he has that honesty in the dressing room and on the training pitch, I think that's fine, because he shouldn't be telling us and the press things that he's not already telling the players anyway. If they're only hearing that stuff from him talking to the press, that's not so good. But I like his honesty, and like Stevie before him, he's really good to listen to at the press conferences. I've said before that Gio, of course, he found it harder. It's not his first language, and he doesn't have the charisma that Beale and Stevie had. And I think from a Rangers fan's perspective, it just makes the meetings and the press a little bit more interesting and enjoyable, doesn't it? Maybe he is a bit too honest, but I enjoy it. Football is an entertainment business, guys. Whether it's on the pitch or whether it's, with the media, we want to be entertained. We want to be hearing interesting conversation, and he certainly got that.
Yeah, it's very engaging. I don't want to criticise Giovanni, because obviously Dutch is his first language, and we've got to be honest about it. Some of us struggle with English, but Gio's gone, and Michael Beale is very engaging. Bobby?
What a shocker.
What's the question?
Michael Beale at the press conference, he's more engaging. Yeah,
yeah, of course he is. Yeah, and he's good to listen to. He's very good to listen to. But when I go on holiday, I'll say the English can't even understand me.
What'd you say, Bobby?
When I go on holiday, the English can't even understand me. They say, what is he saying? So,
I'll tell you when they understand you, Bobby.
They understand the F word, that's all.
No, they understand you when you say what you want to drink. Juicy.
Beautiful. Well, look, I like Beale's directness, and those bits I can understand. He makes it pretty clear what he's wanting. He's demands the best. Look, we haven't gone through any bad spells with him yet in terms of results, really. That's when he's going to obviously be really tested. Should we get a bad result? Of course, I hope we don't. But he's flying high at the moment in terms of the end result. We're not all happy about how we're getting there at the moment. We know improvements need to be made. But I think we've all got to be fairly content with the fact that this team are progressing, despite the flaws that we've well documented, and maybe some prizes may or may not be out of reach, but that doesn't stop us from improving and doing what we need to do. Okay, and if, as Bobby said, we keep pushing. We've seen things happen in the past. The 2 cups are still there as well, and let's just go for it. And Europe will be big again next season. The prizes are always there for us, guys, and that's why it's so exciting being a Rangers fan. You know that these opportunities are going to come. And I just hope we get some consistency now, Ox, with the management team, because it's been chopping and changing with too much frequency. We need that consistency at the club.
I'm going to go to Bridge first with this question, then Bobby, then your good self. You tend to think just Bridgeman. I want you to be honest here, and it's only opinions, and maybe I'll see it different. Have you seen an improvement in the team, in the play, since Michael Beale came in? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Explain what you're seeing then.
Well, what I'm seeing is that we've got a jittery start and a jittery end. But in the middle, in between that, we're playing some good football. The players are responding to them, and you can see some smashing stuff. 2 difficulty points is that we've got to score, and that's a difficulty for the manager to get through. But we have scored, and shall we get a true grit type of performance for the Rangers. And they're getting up to the end, and they're winning the games, but they're nearly always coming back from a losing position, and that has to stop. But other than that, I think he's delighted. The team against the last time we played for Gio, they never tried. It looked as if they never tried, and that's not what's happening this time.
Mm-hmm. Bobby, have we improved? Yes or no, in your opinion?
Yes.
And what have you seen that makes us?
What I've seen is in Gio's time, if we went a goal behind, we weren't going to come back. As simple as that. Mm-hmm. At least we've got the fighting spirit to come back. Okay, we might hang on at the end, but yes, improvement under Beale. Because if we lost goals against Aberdeen, Hibs, Kilmarnock, we wouldn't have come back. So there's improvement, yeah.
Okay. Juicy Bear.
Yes, the work ethic has been a big improvement.
Work ethic, elaborate. Engine room, fullbacks, forwards movement.
Yeah, across the team. So not just one particular area, because we know that there's still some areas, if you drill down, we still know that there's improvement needed in certain roles and across certain positions, particularly the midfield. But the overall team, there has been improvement in that work ethic. And look at players like Fashion, who he's getting more out of him, and there's other particular players where, as they become available, you're seeing a little bit more, that extra 5 or 10%, which can make that difference on the pitch. Maybe some of it's down to the way we're playing as well in terms of the tactical setup. But under Gio, particularly towards the end, Ox, it was a little bit more lethargic, wasn't it? There didn't seem to be that impetus. And we ran out of ideas very quickly, passing it around the back, not really trying to penetrate as often. There seems to be a bit more ambition about us now to take the ball forward. Kent's getting more involved. And that's leading to more chance creation. So tactically and work ethic wise, that improvement is quite noticeable. Yes, there's a lot that we need to refine. Yes, we need to be better defensively, Ox. But in terms of pushing that ball forward and actually trying to make something happen, yes, improvement.
All right, I tend to agree with you all. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it's just a bit of more trust or the relationship had broke down, but things have definitely improved. I take Bobby's point on. We were doing against Hibs and we come back and won 3-2. We were doing against Aberdeen 2-1 in 92nd minute or something and managed to win 3-2. And last night we went a goal behind and come back and won 3-2. And obviously against them at Ibrox, we actually went a goal behind and everybody thought, oh, here we go. And we turned into a winning position and actually blew it. So I think there's room for optimism, but I don't think anybody's getting carried away, Bobby.
No, we're not getting carried away. But at the end of the day, we're still got the league to go for. And I don't care whether you're 9 points ahead. We're still got the league to go for. And the cups, right? We need to go and fight, and we need to win these things. We need to try. We need to... as long as we're trying, I don't care. If I try, and I see, but we don't try, no, that doesn't work with me. But we're getting in the right direction. We need to sign the right players. There's no chance of bringing in somebody that's already injured or whatever. Bring in the right players and let's get us back where we belong. Exactly where I want.
Yeah, aye. Recruitment, just say it's the hardest thing at a football club, getting it right. All clubs.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter what the club is, it's difficult across the piece. And, you look at it with your own club and you're frustrated. But if you look at any club, bigger clubs in terms of finances, there is no bigger club than us in terms of our fan base and everything that we represent. But those clubs that have more money to spend, they have their own problems as well in terms of competing with the other big financially rich teams and trying to get deals over the line. And obviously how important that is to be able to then make that happen within their league or the Champions League. But, we're no different. We're a European side. We're trying to get deals over the line. We don't have the same finances as of all of those teams in those bigger leagues. But to an extent, I think that makes it harder for us, doesn't it? Because we can't just go and put 20 million on the table to get something over the line. We've got to be shrewd with how we work. And maybe that's part of the reason why it takes a bit longer. I don't know. But I'd still rather they take their time and get the right players. As frustrating as that can be for us as a fan base, I want quality, not just some jobber that comes in to fill an outfit on the pitch, and it's no good. And then we start moaning about them being a dead wage. Bring someone in who's going to make a difference.
Yeah, but it's finding them and getting them and having a deal and their contract situation and in the market. I mean, there's Danny Ings. I don't know what age Danny Ings is, but I think he must be well in his 30s. He just went for 15 million. West Ham a day, you know what I mean? It's just down south. The money's just mental. Anyway, come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Phone in. speak to the receptionist. We'll phone you back and bring you in the call, get your thoughts on how it went last night and how you're looking forward to the rest of the season. Bridgeman.
Oh, absolutely. I heard you saying Danny Ings has gone to West Ham. That sounds a bit desperate from a West Ham perspective. No, he's been a good striker and a good professional. So it might do the business for them, but I don't think Rangers should be looking at any more people that are over 30 years old. I can't see it. It's just doing that. But you never know. We might do. I just want Rangers to get better and better and better. That's what I want. I want this manager has surprised me, and his honesty. He's as honest as it seems to be. That as honest as the day's long, and I think the Rangers fans have taken to him. Some of them are going to turn in and say, "No, he's rubbish." Well, we know that'll happen anyway. But really and truly, great. He's got a great record up to now, and long may it last. Long may it last.
Yeah. I mean, we went to Ross County and won, went to Aberdeen and won, and went to Dundee United and won. If we'd have done that last year, about this time, Bobby would have won the league easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I don't know what to say to that, Obs, but we had no fighting spell last year. We were people down tools, and you say, but that's not fair to us, the fans. But this year we've got a wee bit of fighting spirit. Okay, I'm still thinking. No, I've got a bet on Rangers. Don't forget at the start of the season, I've got a £600 bet on Rangers to win the league. I'm still hoping it wins, but I can't see it. No, what the team have got, because they're on fire now. But we need to bring in players, and first of all, we need a goal. We'll go back to starters again. We need a goalkeeper badly. We need 2 midfielders, and we need somebody else up forward. That's my to get us on the right road and get us fighting again. First of all, we need a goalkeeper, 2 midfielders, and a forward.
But can I just ask that question? Are you saying we've got to go out and buy a goalkeeper now? Is that the way you feel?
That's what you said.
Yes, right now.
Yes, that's okay.
That's his first point when he came on the show.
Yeah, all I'm meaning is that tells me, irrespective of what we've discussed and how people have felt about the goalkeepers, Bobby doesn't want our goalkeepers. He wants new goalkeeper. That's what it tells me. So,
listen, I'll be honest with you. I thought that there was a bit of sense and logic. John McLaughlin, make him a number 1. He'd done all right for us in games. I don't think his goals against record was excellent. But made him a number 1 when we did at the start of the season, and it's no worked out. I mean, I think for Gio, and up till last night, I think he'd done all right for Michael Beale, but I don't think he had a great game last night. I've not really seen it back. I've only seen it a couple of times, but I don't even know if he could have done better for the second goal, if I'm being honest. I need to watch it back again. Juicy.
Sorry, could you just repeat that last bit? It broke up, my friend.
I don't know if John McLaughlin could have done better even at the second goal, but last night the start of the game was pretty horrendous. If a goalie comes off his line, he wasn't within 3 or 4 yards of that guy when he headed it in the 6-yard box. If he comes off his line, he's got to challenge for the ball.
Yeah, and I'm afraid when a goalkeeper shows moments of indecision, that's when it costs your team. And unlike other positions on the pitch, unfortunately for John McLaughlin, it is the most notable, isn't it? Most noticeable in terms of if you make that error, could easily result in a goal being conceded. You know, if a player loses the ball up the park, less chance of that happening. It can happen, but you've got more opportunities to stop it. And that's why your goalkeeper is so crucial, And McLaughlin mincing around in no man's land, Either make the challenge or stay on your line. And that's really easy for me to say sitting here in my armchair, I know. But it's that indecision, again, that's costing us at times. We've seen it before with him, and unfortunately, we've seen it with Big McGregor as well. And so we know that long term we're going to need a replacement. I don't think it'll be this January, Bobby, because I think the manager already mentioned that he was happy with the goalkeeping situation as far as this month and the rest of the season goes. So I think we've already heard that nothing's happening for now, but it's going to have to happen in the summer because I can't see Gregsy staying on for another year. So I think it's good. The hand will be four stocks.
Here's this, Bobby. Maybe we don't sign somebody, and I get your point, Bobby. But we should be, if we don't sign somebody, we should be working hard and setting the deal up so it's ready to roll.
Yeah, but what annoys me with that, Hobbs, is so we're just wiping this season off. So we'll not win the cups. We'll not. See, Juicy made a wee point with Walter Smith's team maybe about 30 minutes ago, right? And he said sometimes we didn't play well. But do you know what I think we had? Was a good goalkeeper.
For some of the
Walter Smith's team had a good goalkeeper. You can go through them and you say, well, he'll bring a save off. But at this moment of time, I'm no too. McGregor's been a great goalkeeper.
Sands of time, Bobby. Sands of time. Anyway,
yeah.
We've also been joined by Smurf. Evening, Smurf.
Evening, Ox. Evening, everybody.
How we doing, Brat?
No bad, no bad. Just a wee point was got a game against Hearts coming up. I just wonder if anybody else is sweating about that game.
No. Are you going on last night's performance? Is that what you're talking about?
No, well, I think overall, Hearts have very quietly and efficiently been improving and been quite shrewd. And obviously, I mean, they're not going to go out and beat Aberdeen in the World 5-0 every week, don't get me wrong.
Screened by BT Core Guardian. Please say your name after the tone, then press hash and wait to...
Smith will be right back with us. But I get you saying it's a big game, but we've got 2 games against St Johnstone before we have to worry about that one, Juicy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to acknowledge that the Hearts' performance from last night. They're scoring some goals, but yeah, it's still a little while before we play them. So it's going to be interesting to see where the form is at from them by the time we play them. Also, just as a side point, if I may, Ox, the Sheep doing usual Sheep things by playing their absolute hearts out against us and then getting absolutely smashed by whoever they play in the league.
Yes. Their fans, maybe they'll wake up. Smurf's back ways. Smurf, we've got 2 games against St Johnstone. One's a big cup tie, and then we'll get a league match. But I think before we start focusing on the Hearts game,
Aye.
But
aye.
What did you make of last night, mate?
It's always going to be sticky, no pun intended, on a plastic pitch. But that was my worry. Do you know what? Hello.
Just bide your time, Wally. Just wait, mate. And if you've got the radio on, turn that on. Carry on, Smurf.
But I just thought that wasn't really worried about the performance, and I never am when we play against teams with plastic pitches. What I was worried about was getting away with 3 points and no injuries. And we, hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we've got no new injuries. But 3 points, job done. Move on to the next game. That's the way I look at it.
I will say we've also been joined by Willie. How are we doing, Willie?
Good evening, brothers. Evening, Mr. Jair. Last night's game, if I'd been the referee at that game and I turned up, I wouldn't have played the game. I think the pitch wasn't playable. It was like an ice rink. I think at the first goal, I think the ball comes over, and John McLaughlin, he's never getting to that ball. If you look at it, there's 5 or 6 players between him. He'd have needed wings to get to that ball.
Yep. So what did he not stay on his line for?
Well, I mean, I think his footing's not very good because it's quite icy. There's a big clump of players. They're all moving about. I think he might have thought he could get to it, but then players moved, and then he shut off. So I think when he moved it first, he thought, right, I can get to this. But I know there's a big clump of players. I mean, there's 5 or 6 between when the boy he does it. And the thing is, for a certain angle, you can see the boy that's head on it. His arm is all the way over the top of Scott Arfield, preventing him from jumping. It's a foul on Arfield. Behind the guy that scores is Golson. He's getting pushed from behind. He's getting pushed to the ground from behind. And Clancy's standing watching all this. So there's a lot to see in that goal.
Can I ask you something? Well, I see. See in the first half, the boy Armstrong had been booked, and I think it was Kent. It might have been Bonner. I'm not sure because I've not seen it replayed again. They skipped away from him, and it was a deliberate pull of the jersey. Yeah, he played advantage, but surely should have brought it back, booked him and sent him off.
That boy to me is a lot of skill, but he's an absolute Ned. Right at the start of the game, did you see at the start? He had a go at Morelos right at the start. He stuck his shoulder right into Morelos' chest off the ball. Right at the start of the game, that was him. I thought right away, his job tonight is to wind up Morelos, and he got away with that. And he was just nipping away at Morelos all the time. And Morelos, of course, took the bait and they got into a bit of a running battle. But, did you notice that when Morelos was like that seems to be when we get the best out of Morelos. When he gets angry like that. And then he goes up and he scores goals.
Aye, when he get booked. He get booked, and I thought he'd get booked for nothing, Willie. I was worried about it. I think
it was just a collection of a running battle with that Armstrong. He's a wee Ned, and they get sent off. He should have, for the tackle, he got the second yellow. It's a red card. But the reason the referees gave him a second yellow because then he cannot appeal. If you give him a straight red, he can appeal it. And you never know if it could happen up there. And plus the fact he could appeal it because he might have a big game coming up next. And then while he's waiting his appeal, he could play the next game. And he knows his appeal is going to get turned down anyway. But the referee's just covering us there because it's a stupid system whereby he has to give him a yellow when he should be giving him a red. Just to prevent him being able to appeal. I think Kilmarnock came out and they threw the kitchen sink at Rangers and then they scored the goal and we all knew what was happening. That was him. They all retreated back. It was like that for a long, long time in the game. They just showed nothing. They sat back on that goal. The pitch was an absolute disgrace. The only reason that match was played last night, in my opinion, is because it was live on Sky Sports.
You might be right, mate. And the first thing I would do is that's another game that was cancelled on an all-weather pitch at Livingston. If they're not to cope with bad weather, they should be ripped up and banned for the league. I would ban them. They're horrendous. I've been on them many, many times, and I don't like. There's no one good thing about them. Well, there you go. They're supposed to be all weather, and last night Livingston's game was off. You can be sure if that was a game that was in Sky, that'd have been on, and our game would have been off. You can be sure. Juicy, they should be banned. The pitches.
The old plastic pitch conversation, it comes up every season, doesn't it, guys? And our viewpoint never changes, and we're all in agreement. It's probably the only thing that both halves of the old firm fan base agree on, because both sets of fans hate it when their team plays there. We get injuries, they're grubby matches, they're unpleasant matches. The ball moves unnaturally, which doesn't favour the team that likes to play the football. God knows how Kilmarnock don't get more players injured on it, because they're there every other week. And wasn't it great the other season, guys, when both Hamilton and Kilmarnock got relegated and we only had Livingston in the division? We only had the one plastic pitch, maximum of 2 matches to play in that season. But when we had all 3 of them, you're talking 6 to 8 matches that you could be having there. We had to play them 4 times in a season, and it's just damned awful. It makes, again, Ox, it's another thing to slam the Scottish League over, isn't it? you're talking to your mates across the UK and in other European countries, and they're saying, "Why have you got plastic pitches in your top division?" You know, it's laughable. And as you just said,
you're lucky, Juicy. I've not got any mates. Smurf.
No, I totally agree. There's no place for it. In fact, I know economics play a huge part in it, but I do think that it detracts from our game, makes it less attractive for sponsorship. So I think the sooner we come up with a solution for funding for clubs that have got plastic pitches, not to have them, the better. I don't know if the SPFL or whatever should intervene, whatever, I don't know, a solution, but they need to be gone, because for no other reason than they're, forget the product and all that, they're just dangerous. They're having this stuff about people heading footballs and what it can cause in later life. There's evidence now. I mean, how many people are doing cruciates and stuff like that on these plastic pitches? I think it's about time that was looked at as well. They should be banned in professional football, not even the top flight. Professional football, they should be banned because they're dangerous.
I have to agree with that 100%. 100%. They shouldn't be allowed.
Hawks, did you hear the big headline this morning? Thinking about that pitch last night at Rugby Park, the big headline this morning: Kilmarnock has signed 2 new players, and they've both got world champion medals. Torval and Dean.
Torval and Dean.
There's a reason why.
Did you see any slide tackles in that game last night?
There's a reason why I did a jokes on here, Willie.
Aye, but hey, Hawks, I tell the funny ones. Remember, I tell the funny ones.
Bobby, how bad was that? Bobby, tell him. Don't hang back, Bobby, tell him.
Garbage, mate. Garbage.
Smurf, was that bad or what?
Well, if Bobby's telling it, saying it's garbage, and he's usually the butt in your jokes, it must be bad.
We've turned Bobby into a celebrity. He walked on his bus and they were all singing his
song.
I know.
Nisbet loyal.
Aye. I don't disagree with you, Willie. I think there's a place for them in the game, but I don't think there's a place at a certain level in the game. What that level is, I think in Scotland is maybe the top 2 leagues, if I'm honest. I don't know what you think about that, Bobby.
Well, can I ask you a question, Obs? This is a quiz question. Yes. Who was the first team had AstroTurf?
I think it was Luton Town or Queen's Park Rangers, one of the 2.
So what one you said?
I'll go for
Luton Town.
Queen's Park Rangers.
I'll say, Obs, you're correct. It was Queen's Park Rangers.
Bobby, thanks for texting me that answer before you asked the question. I appreciate it.
What a sook.
Well, listen, if you're going to ask me, you text me the answer so I get it right. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
I never text you the answer.
Bobby, was that a fact, or was it just a Bobby fact?
Queen's Park Rangers is the first team to have AstroTurf.
Right. Okay. Have you still got it?
No.
Was Dunfermline the first team in Scotland to have one? Did they have it first? Is that rings a bell? I don't know. I also think Airdrie had one as well, didn't they? But I don't know if they've still got one.
I think it was going in amateurs.
I would go with that, Willie. I wouldn't have it for the first 2.
No, absolutely not. It's a disgrace. If you can't slide tackle in a game of football, it's not a game of football.
Aye, well, it's part of the game, aye.
I mean, can you imagine that big goalkeeper last night getting down on that in his ribs? For 6'6", down onto the ground like a shot. I bet he's got a few broken ribs this morning.
He had 2 good saves down low for a goal as a tall last.
He did. He really did. He saved them for a right doing it at one point in the game.
6'6". He wouldn't be big as the centre half that Bridge wants to sign. Bridgeman.
100% right. By the way, have a giggle because I do. But I was watching that last night, and every single time, all they wanted to do was pump the high ball in. And what have we got there? We've got mediocre size-wise, mediocre centre halves, and they've got a big fella, Ash Taylor. I don't know how high he is, but he's bigger than our players, and taller. And they've got other guys of similar height to us, and they can jump. And we don't have anybody that can actually jump, and we've seen it time and time again. Time and time again. We will need somebody that can actually jump and head the ball properly, and it's tough as nails, and we don't have anybody like that. At the moment.
Somebody like Katic, maybe?
No. Katic is small compared to the centre halves. He's the same size as Golson. I'm talking about somebody that's 6'5" or more, and a monster to boot. That's what I want anyway.
Listen, Bridge, 6'5" and monster. Stop talking about your old girlfriends on here.
They would have done a better job for us anyway than some of the guys at the moment. Seriously, but I'm looking for somebody a lot taller than we've got. Same at goalkeeper level, a lot taller. And I don't think we should be playing with anybody in our defence that's less than 6'1" at the moment. And the way the modern game goes, got to be at least 6'1", in my opinion.
Well, I think we still defence are. I think Tabs.
Well, there you go then. I don't know what size they all are, but 6'1" seems a reasonable size to start off playing, particularly in defence. Really good.
Yeah. I don't agree with it. I just want guys that can play. I don't care what size they are, as long as they can play.
That's what I was about to say. He wants person 6'1" and can they play?
Aye, they're going to be able to play. Baresi wasn't a bad centre half. Messi's not a bad forward, is he?
No bad.
And Iniesta was all right, wasn't he?
Javi wasn't bad.
But hey, just a minute, they're not playing the Scottish League.
I know, but if we've got skill and good and pace and that, we'll wipe these teams.
Look, our centre halves don't have any skill compared to Baresi. You're speaking about the best centre half that ever lived. But his partner with Mascherano, that's who I would have at any time in world rankings. Two of the best centre halves, and read the game, play the game.
The left back wasn't bad neither, was he?
Absolutely. You're right. So, and go on and say it all,
Yes.
but it's true. I love it, and I just want to see a big monster that takes no nonsense for anybody and batters lumps at them. That's what I want.
Bobby, you were coming in there, last point, mate.
I was just thinking, was Bridge thinking about Ash Taylor? Was that clown for Aberdeen? We used to laugh at.
He was
he
played
last night.
He was hopeless.
He played for Aberdeen.
I'm not saying he's any good. I'm saying he's tall. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what height.
But he's rubbish.
I don't care if he's rubbish. He's tall, and he was beating more people in the defence.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cheers, Bobby. It's been a bit of fun tonight, mate. I hope you enjoyed it.
Right. I did, mate. Right. Thanks a lot. Right. Right off. Good night, mate.
Last word for your good self, Smurf.
I just looking forward to the Johnson game and onwards and upwards. And aye, put on for the Rangers, as Bridge would say. Good night, all.
Good night, Smurf. Wally boy.
Listen, that's a waste of time getting big, tall players, Bridge, because the SNP and the Green Party are going to ban heading the ball in Scotland. So it's a waste of time.
No, for a long time.
Aye, they're going to do what they want. They're going to ban heading the ball. So we'll stick with the wee short Japanese guys.
Just
get some of them. They don't get any headers. They're only 5 feet tall. They don't get any headers. Hey, great show, guys. Thanks for taking my call, Oaks.
Cheers, boy.
All the best to you for the weekend. Thank you.
Cheers, boy.
Good night.
Juicy bear.
Well, we've had some fantastic conversations today, particularly on the goalkeeping front.
Yes.
But let's see what other players we get in the next week. A lot of transfer business, hopefully, still to be done. We've got more teams to spank in the next week as well. St Johnstone twice and then on to Hearts. So still a lot to play for. Keep improving, Rangers. and let's do that business.
Here. Bridgman.
Well, what a tremendous evening. Well done there, Oxter. And thank you for carrying me there, good Juicy. And good magic for the techie guys looking after us as well. To all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because we're going to sign some players and we need better support. So keep it going for the Rangers, everybody. Keep it going.
Yeah. Thanks to Bobby, Smurf, and of course Wally, who came in and joined us. Thanks to Juicy Bear and Bridgman for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Just keep watching Sky Sports News. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. Won't you come and cheer us? Help the boys along. White and blue, coming through with a song. Oh, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. We'll be there to do it, Rangers. Do it if we can, Rangers. Win the cup, hold it up in our hands. Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay.